Well, howdy. Today we're going to make some camo blankets. And this is the best way to do it because I know whenever I sew, somebody tries to give me instructions, and if I could just see it, how it was done, then I would understand the instructions. So we're going to go ahead and make a small camo quilt today. So stay tuned. Get your table cleaned off first. This is going to be our finished product. I use day orange fleece on this side and camo material on the other. This way the blanket, it comes in handy for so many different things. You can even go do a little break on a walking stock, throw it over a branch and sit on the ground and hunt. You can cover the front of your camo, you can keep yourself warm. I know mine saved me so much whenever I've gotten too cold sitting out there waiting for my ride to show up. So this is what it looks like. This is what they call brushed flannel, heavy brushed flannel. I like that the best. It's hard to find where I live in this one-horse county that I live in. And this is, like I said, the heavy day orange fleece. That's also for, you can use it for a signal. Like say you're up in the Rocky Mountains hunting and you have a problem. At least you have something to give a signal. Put it in your sleeping bag. It's just a small blanket, but does a whole lot of good whenever you need it to. Fits in a backpack rolled up, thermos and stuff if you're just going out day hunting. Now what we're going to do, I've already pre-cut some of my material. Because I use, like this is salvage. Whenever you read instructions on how to sew, they'll say such and such pertaining to salvage. What they mean is scrap. This was a scrap from another blanket, but it's perfect for what we're doing here today. This is batting. It's what's called batting. It comes in high loft and low loft. It just depends on how thick you want that blanket to stand up. And I think this is a high loft. So you're going to need some batting. Even Walmart sells it. You get them in bigger pieces and king size, crib size, queen size, whatever, but since I do these all the time, I get the biggest one, and that way I have plenty of salvage for free blankets. So you're going to get that out, and you're going to put it on the table. It's probably going to be a roll, so you're going to unroll it. So pause the tape anytime you want, and do what you need to do, the steps, and then come back so that you can see what we do next. Next, I've got my fleece here, already cut kind of close, because I had 3 yards of it, and that's going to be a lot to work around and try to do this video. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your batting down, get it real good and flat, and then you're going to get your fleece and put it down. See, I'm going to have a lot of salvage left over because this wasn't actually big enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try to do it to where I have areas saved to use for other projects if I can. If not, oh well. But we're going to get this all put out. And once we do get it all covered real well, my salvage is going to be on that side. We're going to try to get this really, really flat. And what I like to do is start in the middle and work your way out. And this material gives, so it won't look like it needs something somewhere, but really it does. So pause and go get your stuff flat. Okay, you should have it pretty flat. All your edges covered. If not, you can just lay out that one big piece, put whatever size fleece you want on top and trim or later around the edges, but just as long as you can see or feel where your edges are so you can pin it, because that's what I'm going to do here whenever I'm all done. I'm going to use these long quilting pins. They're not regular straight pins, they're a little longer for quilting for thicknesses, so, and they are worth their weight in gold. So we're going to take our top material and we're going to turn it upside down, because we're going to have the two outside faces facing each other of the finished blanket. This has got a crease here, so that's the outside. By the way, I picked up this material at Walmart for $2 a yard. So, and I had that salvage left over from another project, so basically this blanket isn't going to cost me very much at all to make. Okay, you're going to put your top material to be an identical twin of the one that's below it. The closer you can get, the better. If not, you're going to have to overlap it, smooth it out, pin it down, and then trim it later. we'll trim it, do all the trimming at one time. Try to get close here and I'll work the difference over. And what I do is I take these pins and I start from the center, work my way out in case I miss something on a wrinkle, trying to get this flat. The flatter you have it, the better your finished blanket's gonna look. And I just pin it every so often. Keep working my way out. And just do that, you know, just keep working it out and take care around the corners. Let me show you. Here's going to be my edge. You see, I've got, that's a little shorter so I can feel it. But just for y'all, I can show you right here. Here's my edge. I want to make sure that I put one kind of caddy corner in that corner, because when we sew around that edge, I don't want that pin in the way, and I want it far enough away that it'll help pull, but yet you keep your pins in line for the sewing machine. And then once you get all that center all done, and you think it's good, it's not going to move, well then we're going to start pinning the edges, and you have to decide which end you're going to have your opening, because what we're going to do is we're going to sew all the way around. We're going to do what's called enveloping. We're going to leave a gap about this big so we can turn this blanket inside out once it's machined done on the edges, and then we're going to blind stitch that shut. So what we need to do is pin all the edges about, what, 5 inches more or less, all the way around, taking care of your corners, and leave a spot open about this big. When we get to that spot, what we're going to do is we're going to mark it so we don't forget with double pins. That way if I see it with the machine, I know to stop there. So get to that part, pause me, and we'll get up, caught up, and show you how to start sewing this baby. I'm coming down to this corner, so I was going to show you what I do is, I know my corner is going to be right here because of the selvage. I like to put a pin that goes into the corner with the head away from the corner, but the end of the pin sticking into the corner. That way when I'm sewing, I know where my corner is because the material is kind of thick. So I've got that pinned. I'm going to pin around it to support it a little bit. Oops. Here's the 2 pins. I know it's hard to see on camo. And I'm going to put my other 2 pins right about there. That way the opening is large enough that I can get my big hand in there and reverse this blanket inside out. So there's 1, 2. There we go. That's going to be my opening from here to here. It's going to be my opening. And I'm also going to put a pin right in here because I'm not sewing here. And for some reason I see that. It's telling me to stop right there. Okay. Big side. I want to keep it for in case I make some fleece socks. I might do that later for y'all. Fleece socks are real easy to make. I'm going to fold it to try to get a straight line. And this is kind of going to be my guide here too, to the edge of the batting. This is called layman sewing. What I really need to be doing is I should take a measurement here with my tape and a measurement over here with my tape and make sure they're pretty close. But being that I've done this for a while, I'm going to just eyeball it. See my edge there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that for my straight edge. I'm going to take my scissors and just trim both layers of material to match my batting. It doesn't matter if your cut's pretty, it just needs to be pretty straight. See? So, now I've got some extra material for some, even a scarf. That would be good. So, you just do that on all your edges that have way too much material or that are a little crooked. Like this one's a little crooked on this side. It's got more fleece showing. And the other side's got more camo material showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of trim the edge there to make it a flatter, straighter edge for us. And after that we'll be ready for the machine, so get your machine set up. You need probably a universal needle in the machine and whatever color thread you're going to do. And make sure that you have a bobbin that's the same color. And if you don't have your bobbin ready, go get you a bobbin and start spinning some thread on it because you're going to need a little bit. And come back. We'll be ready with the machine.